So here we're looking at Pogonomyrmex occidentalis or occidentalis. Not sure which way you say it correctly, but this is a small boosted colony. We call these advanced colonies on our website for purchase. Try not to confuse people who are new to the hobby and have their first opportunity to obtain a colony or a queen. So we use a different term. Boosted doesn't mean too much to anybody. Advanced implies that the colony is a little bit beyond the founding stage, which they are. So when you have a boosted colony like this one, it really calms the queen down. And it also provides the opportunity for others to feed the larvae as well. And we've seen a good amount of evidence throughout the colonies that we have that indicates that this is the true nature of the situation, that the larvae are bigger, excuse me, and that the queen is much calmer, like you can see in this video. It's very easy to get a video of her in this particular instance. Difficult with a queen by herself, although we were able to get a couple, and you'll see those in a few minutes. It's really neat to be able to see these ants finally up close. For myself, I've always had to rely on other people's videos and pictures, and now I can get videos of the colonies I want to and see them up close, see them doing amazing things like what's going on here, which is a seed being eaten by a larvae. I've never seen this before. If I have seen this before, I didn't know I was seeing it before, but this is literally a very big piece of a seed, and a larvae is just munching away on it. And this is what these ants eat, is seeds. So in the wild, they live in areas that are not as heavily populated by aphids, where many common ant species will go to find food with their honeydew. So these ants have turned to seeds as their way of finding nutrition, carbohydrates, and the like. So, and there's also some proteins. You see that again, here we have this little larvae here who is eating what I only assume is a small piece of a seed that this queen has crunched off for her. Those are dandelion seeds you see there. Dandelion seeds so far have been my number one choice, and it's because this is what the ants seem to be the most receptive to. I've got a couple other seeds on lists that I want to try out. I've got wheatgrass seeds too, which actually turned out to be a big hit. At first, they were way too big, almost as big as these workers you see here. But after they stayed inside of a humid environment for a few days, the husks of the seeds fell off, and the ants were able to chew through down into the center of the seeds where there's some um, very big chunks of this white material. I'd love to get more information on this down the road and explain it a little bit better for anybody who's interested. But this is a good source of food for them, and so the wheatgrass seeds work really good. The Kentucky bluegrass seed is another one that we'll try here. This is what you're going to see. This is what we're seeing with most of the colonies right now is 4, 5, 6 larvae, and this is after 4 weeks. Again, it's the same thing in this picture here, this video here. 4 or 5 or 6 larvae, a small pile of eggs. So the progression goes, the queen, after she founds her colony, she begins laying eggs, founds her colony, meaning she finds a place she wants to start her colony. In this case, it's the mini hearth. She finds a place she wants to start laying eggs, and she starts piling them up until there's 20 to 30 eggs. And then, again, here's another similar situation. And then those eggs will turn into larvae, and then the larvae will eventually turn into pupae. But when the queen gets to around 4 to 6 larvae, usually she'll start feeding the eggs to the larvae as food, and then so she's only got, anywhere between 4 to 6 is on average what we're seeing. So here, you see the queen, she's actually doing the foraging here. So this is pretty neat to see. So again, she's got, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 larvae there. And so after she gets to those point where the larvae are growing steadily, and she's got them ready to turn into pupae within a few days, she'll start laying eggs again. And then the progression will continue, and by the end of the year we should see a good number of workers, I would guess between 10 and 20 for these small colonies. This is just a group of workers watching mom, or the queen. Actually, it's not her mother. It's not their mother in this case. This is a boosted colony, but she was drinking a little bit of honey water, and these ants will drink other liquids. Drink liquids like honey, apples. Our complete ant juice has been a hit as well. And they will take in insects as well. I'm a little bit leery myself of giving them a lot of insects. I've found it's not necessary thus far. And these ants don't have, they're not used to eating them as a dietary supplement as much. So in the captivity, I want to make sure they have a separate foraging area where they can drop these pieces off so they don't mold right there near their seed pile and their brood pile. So this is one thing to note. I wanted to show you guys this particular habitat because this is what they're going to arrive in. This is the Genesis test tube insert. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the test tube inserts that we sell on our website, this is a little bit of a different variation. You see the ceiling or overhead portion of it. This was designed specifically so we could ship these ants safer, and it's supposed to provide them some protection from shipping issues like being turned over and things that are eventually going to happen to some of these ants, but it should help keep the eggs and larvae and brood in the same place where the workers and queen could easily recover them. This is our newer version of the mini hearth. It is something only available right now with this package, the Pogonomyrmex occidentalis package. So if you want to add on a mini hearth, you can request that you get this dual chamber version. This is the older version of the mini hearth. There's actually a queen in here as well. But the reason I came up with the dual version was to give them a seed chamber that was separate from their brood chamber. The seeds, usually they'll keep them in a drier spot in their nest, and that's what we're doing here for this version of the mini hearth. And you can do this with other formicaria as well. This is an actual unused one that we're getting ready to move a queen into. So how to do this is very simple. It's really a quick thing. You don't have to wait days and days normally, and we've had a lot of success getting them to move very quickly. Just push the test tube up against the opening, and you shine light on the test tube. These queens are very bold. They will explore new areas. They will go foraging for seeds on their own. So it will not take long for them to find the mini hearth, and it will be dark because you're going to cover the front of it. And they generally move within an hour or two. I hear him tapping on the test tube with a pen. Use a pen or a pencil or something to give it a nice good vibration on the test tube glass. This will prompt the queen to want to find a safer place. Vibrations, airflow, and light are all easy ways to promote ants to explore a new area. Again, tapping on the glass to get her more interested in seeking out a new place. There's so much to this. There's so many aspects to these ants that we're not used to. The heat, the seeds, the fact that they cannot climb glass and plastic is amazing. There's more information on our website about this, and we're going to have a full PDF with pictures, and it should be fun to read.